So here we are at the beginning of a new year, and it's natural to reset and think about making resolutions for the year ahead. Resolutions usually deal with things like going to the gym or having healthier eating habits or maybe reading books. Rarely are they IT related or address improving cybersecurity. I shouldn't be surprised by that. I manage an IT services company, right? We live and breathe this stuff. That's why many of you work with companies like Trailhead Networks. You trust us to take care of your IT, but I look at this as a partnership. There are things that you can do to help us partner together to protect your business and your personal data against cyber attack. So in this first episode of 2021, I'm going to give you 4 cybersecurity resolutions. They won't encompass everything you should be doing, but they are a few core things you should be doing right now if you aren't already. If you'd like to find out what these 4 resolutions are, keep watching. Hi, I'm Stephen Lauber, founder and owner of Trailhead Networks, and you're watching Talking Tech at the Trailhead. This is a series of short videos where we help small businesses with simple, easy to understand guidance about IT that is essential to their success. Many organizations fear that their technology just isn't working for them. At Trailhead, we walk alongside our clients to provide the help they need to take the fear out of IT. All right. So resolution number 1, create a culture of awareness. We stress this all the time. The biggest threat to your organization comes from inside. It's the people. Most of the attacks that we see get a foothold from an action that someone takes. Clicking on a link in a phishing email, sharing important information, or triggering a financial transaction with a fraudulent imposter. Even the most sophisticated attackers will rely on an event initiated from a human inside the guarded perimeter to get their plan started. This means that you need to build a culture of awareness in your organization. Make people aware of the threats and how they can help prevent them. Model security best practices and set the expectations. When we first rolled out multi-factor authentication or requiring stronger password policies, in many places there was pushback. In the past, when I would talk with business owners about implementing these stronger policies, many of the responses were that their team just wouldn't put up with it. But over time, with education and awareness, these things have become natural and accepted. We've all realized that the added layers of security are well worth a few extra steps to gain access to our critical information. Make ongoing cybersecurity awareness and education a priority in your organization. And the second resolution, are there eyes on your network 24/7? You should be confident that malicious or suspicious activity is being monitored and preventative actions are being taken automatically. Don't rely on reactive methods or periodic reviews of systems as your only response to threats. It's important to review things like firewall logs or system events to detect potential threats. In fact, many of the highly publicized breaches that we hear about in the news came from a breach that went undetected for many months or more. So analyzing logs and reports will help detect those types of idle threats in your network. But now more than ever, with a huge increase in distributed workforces due to COVID-19, you need proactive tools to stop and even roll back threats in real time. Your users are likely accessing your data from home or other less locked down locations. Relying on reactive methods alone just doesn't cut it in today's climate. There are many ways to accomplish this, but a couple of critical things that everybody should be doing now is using next-gen security software and alerts. By this, I mean that your security software should take actions based on what a program or process really does, instead of what it says it's going to do. And if the action's bad enough, your security software should be able to quarantine it, or even the entire system from the rest of your network. And make sure the alerts from these security tools and devices like your firewalls are alerting your IT staff or your providers. And most important, make sure those alerts aren't falling on deaf ears. They should be triggering other actions depending on what they are. And the third resolution, keep protections up to date. Most of you realize the importance of keeping your computers patched with the latest security updates. Now it's easier than ever to automate patching and manage these processes. Many attacks take advantage of unpatched exploits that are publicly available to any curious mind. This should be a fundamental piece of your cybersecurity plan. But don't forget about all the other devices in your environment besides your computers. Anything with an IP address that's connected to your network could pose a threat. The famous Target breach occurred from a compromised HVAC user's access. Don't neglect things like multifunction printers or old routers that are used as backup connection methods. These are often forgotten about because they aren't considered a critical device. But even if these old devices don't end up leading directly to a breach, it's very likely that they will cause an interruption in service or take attention away from a critical need by failing at the most inconvenient time. If an old network device is attached to your network and isn't needed, get rid of it. If the old equipment is still needed but support or current security updates are no longer available, then find a replacement for it. All right, and then our last resolution, have a plan. Most organizations that I come in contact with don't have adequate IT plans, or if they do, not everyone is following it or even knows what the plan is. This includes your security processes. What do you do and how do you do it? You should have a plan that is clear and well known in your organization. What are the expectations and what are the outcomes if not followed? The plan also needs to address business continuity. What steps will you take if some or all of your IT infrastructure becomes unavailable? With increased cloud hosting, today's disaster recovery plans look very different than they did when almost all of our IT resources were located on-premise on a server closet. Don't make the mistake, though, of thinking that cloud computing takes the burden of business continuity or disaster recovery planning away. Maybe you don't have a physical server that you need to protect and make sure it's available 24/7, but you still need a plan for different scenarios and how you'll respond if you lose access to your data. You know, it may be that you lose internet access or you have an outage with one of your vendors. Trust me, no data center is completely immune to interruption. Microsoft's Azure authentication services experienced global outages multiple times last fall. The resources that they have available dwarf all but just a few data centers in the world. Okay, so let's wrap up this episode. If you're unsure of how to implement any of these cybersecurity resolutions, or maybe you would like an independent third party to take a look and make sure you have them in place, our team at Trailhead Networks is available and we would love to help. Take us up on our free 14-point IT systems assessment. You'll receive a plan with action items for you to take to help protect your critical IT resources. I'll put contact information at the end of the video and down below in the comment section if you're interested in that. You can also subscribe to our monthly newsletter or our tech tip emails and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll keep you informed of the IT-related topics you need to be aware of. And you can also watch other episodes of our Talking Tech at the Trailhead series. So I wish you a great 2021 and hope you found some tips to make it more secure and productive. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Talking Tech at the Trailhead.